All right, so this is part three of my Ordinary People review. I I wish I could say that. Well, I'm at work, and I wish I could say that I'm working, and I am, but it's a slow night, so this gives me a great opportunity to do something that I love to do, and that's talk about characters. And as mentioned, I posted about Beth, and now I'm going to post about Calvin, the character in Ordinary People, played by Donald Sutherland. First, let me just say, did not receive an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. That is a crime. Academy, I'm mad, but that's okay. So, I love the character of Calvin. Um, I love any character that is so warm and loving and compassionate. And Calvin is mentioned in the previous review of Beth. He could have easily gone the route of her, bearing his love with his dead son Bucky, but instead he did the healthy thing. He focused on the child that was alive, and that was Conrad, played by Timothy Hutton. And he was doing everything. I mean, everything in his power to save his son. And I can relate to that. I can relate to that now. I'm not sure I related to it when the film came out, but I didn't have a very good relationship with my father when the film came out. So I probably it didn't even register to me, the kind-hearted nature of this character of Calvin in Ordinary People. But I look back on it now, and once again, I think that's why the film stays number one on my list, is because this character reminds me of my father that I've grown to know, of being kind hearted and loving and doing anything for his son, anything in his power. But Calvin faced what a lot of fathers face when they're trying to help their son who's suicidal, who is depressed, filled with guilt and shame, that they realize they are powerless, that no matter what they do or say, nothing seems to work. And but Calvin, that doesn't stop Calvin. And one of the scenes I love so much in the film, and this reminds me so much of like my relationship with my father over the last year, is that Calvin got to a point when Beth refused to go see Conrad's therapist. um, he mentioned to her that he was going to go see him, and she got defensive, as I mentioned before, and she said, "This is my family." And I remember being listening to a sermon at church a couple weeks ago or last week, and about how selfish people like myself use the word "my" a lot, and I really try to catch myself when I use the word "my," because selfish people will say that a lot. That's one of their favorite words. It's my stuff, my life, my whatever, and that's kind of where Beth was. But Calvin somehow knew that he might be able to understand his son better, because he seemed to be getting so much better, Conrad, with his therapist. And what happened is that when Calvin went to see Conrad's therapist, Calvin realized that he had his own issues to deal with, and they were blocking him from helping his son. And that is so textbook, that when someone tries to help someone, especially in a codependent way, and I'm not saying Calvin was codependent, but probably was, but when you try to help someone codependently, and I know this from being a codependent, you end up hurting them, until because the codependent's motto is like, let me work on you and fix you so that I can feel better about me, or let me help you and fix you so I don't have to look at my own pain. And when Calvin went that day to see Conrad's therapist, I think he didn't realize, I know he didn't realize, that he was going to end up talking about him. And I remember at the very end of that scene, he said, "I know why I came here." And the therapist said, "Why?" He said, "To talk about me." It almost makes me want to cry. To talk about me. And I think that, I think that that is so beautiful, that he was willing to do that, willing to go out on a limb for his son. and willing to go out on a limb for himself so that he could heal. And be through the healing that he was able to accomplish by wanting to help his son in any way possible, it opened up his eyes to the marriage that was disintegrating in front of him. And he didn't see it until he was able to see his own pain and realize what he was doing and what he was allowing Beth to do to Conrad. Because she was hurting him beyond belief. But he couldn't see that, I guess. I guess he just loved her that much. But, oh, like I said, I don't want to give a lot away in the film. But Calvin is a great character. He is beautifully played by Donald Sutherland. He does a remarkable job of the transformation of his character right in front of our very own eyes. That is such a beauty. It's one of the reasons I love acting, and I love actors who are fearless like that, who are willing to show, who are willing to go the lengths of their character to show the humanity of their character. So that's in a nutshell Calvin. And the next part will be talking about Conrad. And oh my God, I'm looking at the clock at 6 minutes. I know it's probably going to take more than one part to talk about Conrad, because that's why I'm doing this so fast, is I'm trying to get to Conrad. And anyway, that's Calvin, and you know, he is that character is something else. And I tell you, to watch that film and watch what he does, the actor and the character, is truly miraculous. And thank you for listening to this, and I look forward to the next part, because it will be about Conrad, played by Timothy Hutton. I'm looking very forward to that one. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Have a great night. God loves you. Never forget that.